guys! So ngayon, ang gagawin naman natin ay tuturuan ko kayo na isang topic sa mathematics. So dahil malapit na naman ang pasukan, kailangan natin mag-review. So ang topic na ituturo ko sa inyo ay laws of exponents. The first law of exponents is the product of powers with the same base. I have here an illustration, and as you can see, A represents base and M represents exponents. A raised to M multiplied by A raised to M is equal to, so kapag parehas ng base, kunin lang natin yung base which is A, and then ang gagawin naman natin sa exponents ay pag-add natin. So, M plus M. So, ayan, no? For example, X to the second power multiplied by X to the third power is equal to, so ano yung base natin? X. Then, ang ating exponents are 2 and 3. So, 2 plus 3 is 5. So, our final answer is going to be x to the 5th power. Another example, x to the 4th power multiplied by x to the 5th power is equal to, okay, ang ating base ulit ay x. Then, ang gagawin sa exponents ay pag-add. So, 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. So, our final answer is x raised to 9. Okay? What if lagyan naman natin ng numerical coefficient na greater than 1? Kasi yung kanina natin example ay meron na siyang numerical coefficient na 1. Kahit na hindi natin nilagay yon, given na yon na meron siyang 1 doon. So, what if naman na mas mataas sa 1 yung numerical coefficient natin? So, here's my example. 2x to the third power multiplied by negative 3x to the fourth power. Ang una natin gagawin ay multiply the numerical coefficient. So, 2 multiplied by negative 3 is equal to negative 6 because negative multiplied by positive is equal to negative. Then, yung base natin ay x. And then, our exponents are 3 and 4. So, 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. So, our final answer is negative 6x to the 7th power. The second law in the laws of exponents is the quotient of powers. So, kung makikita nyo sa illustration natin, meron tayong a raised to m over by a raised to m. Meron ako ditong tatlong paraan upang mas mabilis nyo maintindihan itong ating second law. Okay? So, first, if m is greater than another m, or if the exponent of the numerator is greater than the exponent of the denominator, ang ating gagawin ay pag-minusin natin yung exponents. So, for example, a raised to m minus m. Okay? Pangalawa naman ay if m is equal to m, or if the exponent of the numerator is equal to the exponent of the denominator, automatically, the answer is 1. Kapag parehas sila ng base, ha? For example, 8 raised to 2 over by 8 raised to 2. So, ang base natin ay 8 at ang ating exponent ay parehas din na 2. So, 8 raised to 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. And any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, our final answer is 1. So, kaya 1 ang magiging sagot kapag parehas ng base at parehas din ng exponents. Okay? Okay, yung pangatlo naman ay if m is less than m or yung exponent ng numerator ay mas mababa sa exponent ng denominator, ang gagawin natin ay reciprocal. For example, a raised to 2 over by a raised to 4. So, a raised to 2 minus 4, which is a raised to negative 2. Dahil nga hindi pwede na meron tayong exponent na negative, so ang gagawin natin ay reciprocal na nga. So, 1 over by a raised to 2. So, yun na yung answer natin. Magiging positive na yung exponent kapag nagawa na natin ang reciprocal. So, meron pa tayo ditong another examples. So, 2 raised to 10 over by 2 raised to 6 is equal to, so ang ating base, pareha sila, which is number 2. Then, the exponents are 10 and 6. So, mas mataas yung exponent ng numerator kaysa sa denominator. Kaya, pag ma-minusin natin, 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. So, 2 raised to 4 ang ating answer. Or, kapag sinimplify natin, ang answer ay 16. Another example is negative x squared over by x squared. Kagaya ng tinuro ko sa inyo kanina, kapag parehas ng base at kapag parehas ng exponent, ibig sabihin, ang sagot ay 1. But the numerator is negative and the denominator is positive. Kaya, ang sagot natin ay negative 1. Kasi negative times positive is equal to negative. Okay, yung next naman natin example ay yung kapag mas mataas yung exponent ng denominator kaysa sa numerator. So, ito. X raised to 4 over by x raised to 7. So, ang answer ay x raised to negative 3. So, kapag ni-reciprocal na natin siya, ang magiging answer na ay 1 over by x raised to 3. Ang ating namang third law ay the power of a power. So, quantity a to the m power raised to m. Kapag ganyan ang nakita nyo, ibig sabihin, ang exponent ng nasa loob ay imumultiply mo sa exponent ng nasa labas. So, magiging answer ay a raised to m multiplied by m. Okay, no? So, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Quantity x to the second power raised to 3. So, the answer is x, o yung exponent ng nasa loob ay imumultiply sa exponent sa labas. So, 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6. So, our final answer is going to be x to the 6th power. Another example, quantity 4x to the third power raised to 2. So, yung exponent na 2 sa labas ay didistribute natin sa 4 at sa x raised to 3. So, 4 raised to 2 is equal to 16. And x to the third power raised to 2 is equal to, anong gagawin? Pag-multiply muna natin yung exponent sa labas at sa loob. So, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So, our final answer is 16x raised to 6. Ang pang-apat naman nating law ay the power of a product. So, kung makikita nyo dyan, quantity AB raised to M. Ibig sabihin, i-distribute natin yung M sa numbers or variables na nasa loob. For example, ito. Yung M, distribute natin sa A, which is A raised to M, and yung M, distribute din natin sa b, which is b raised to m. So, magiging sagot dyan ay a raised to m multiplied by b raised to m. So, ito yung mas example. Quantity 2x raised to 4. So, yung 4, distribute natin sa 2 and x. So, 2 raised to 4 multiplied by x raised to 4. So, anong sagot? 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16. And x raised to 4 is equal to x raised to 4. So, our final answer is 16x to the 4th power. So, meron pa ako ditong another example. Negative 2 raised to 2 multiplied by quantity negative x to the 2nd power raised to 3. So, ang una natin gagawin ay sisimplify muna natin yung negative 2 raised to 2. Dahil hindi kasama ang negative sa i-raise sa 2, ibig sabihin, ang sagot ay negative 4. Maraming nalilito dito Minsan sinasama nila yung negative kaya ang sagot nila ay 4 lang kasi negative times negative is positive. So next naman natin itong quantity negative x to the 2nd power raised to 3. So ang gagawin lang natin ay pag-multiply natin yung exponents. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So ang sagot ay negative x raised to 6. At yung sagot natin sa kanina ay negative 4. So, pag-multiply natin yung dalawa na yon. Negative 4 times negative x raised to 6 is equal to negative times negative is equal to positive 4x raised to 6. Our last law is the power of a quotient. So, kung makikita nyo, para lang din siya yung fourth law. Didistribute yung m sa numerator at sa denominator naman. So, magiging kalalabasan yan ay a raised to m over by b raised to m. For example, quantity 2x all over by 3y to the 3rd power raised to 5. So, ang una natin gagawin ay yung 2 i-raise natin sa 5 and then yung x i-raise din natin sa 5. Over by yung 3 i-raise natin sa 5 at yung y to the 3rd power ay i-raise din natin sa 5. So, pag sinimplify natin, 2 raised to 5 is equal to 32 and x raised to 5 is equal to x raised to 5. All over by, so yung denominator, 3 raised to 5 is equal to 243. So, yung y to the 3rd power, pag ni-raise mo siya sa 5, so, pag multiply mo yung 3 and 5, so the answer is 15. So, y raised to 15. So, our final answer is 32x to the 5th power all over by 243 y raised to 15.